What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? Noah Gray here, tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Josh's channel and check out showmefootball.com for more.
What is up, Chiefs Kingdom? Welcome back to another video on my channel. My name is Josh Fan of showmefootball.com and arrowheadaddict.com, covering your Kansas City Chiefs. And the Chiefs just made another great free agent signing. Let's talk about it. Ladies and gentlemen of the Chiefs Kingdom, the Kansas City Chiefs made yet another smart, savvy, and probably obvious free agent move when they brought back defensive end Charles Omenihu late Thursday night on what is being reported to be a one-year deal. This is from Adam Schefter of ESPN. He says, source, DN Charles Omenihu is returning to the Chiefs on a one-year deal worth a maximum of $7 million. Now, the Chiefs kind of dropped this on us late Thursday night during the March Madness games, so a lot of you may have missed it. So didn't really get a chance to talk about it the day of the signing, but you guys will be seeing this the next morning. But definitely love this move for the Kansas City Chiefs, bringing back Charles Omenihu on a one-year deal. This is just yet another smart, savvy move to fill a need before the NFL draft. I think, after the Chiefs made some of their initial moves at the beginning of free agency, bringing in left tackle Jalen Moore, signing running back Elijah Mitchell, signing, cornerback Christian Fulton. Like, those were good moves, but you looked at that defensive line group for the Kansas City Chiefs and you thought to yourself, there's a lot of holes here. Like they probably need to sign a couple free agents because, yes, you do have the NFL draft and the Chiefs are almost assuredly going to be dipping into the defensive line group in this NFL draft class. It's a very deep draft class along the defensive line, but you still need bodies and you need depth, veteran depth along the defensive line, because you can't just spend every single draft pick on defensive line. Well, the Kansas City Chiefs went out and signed Jerry Tillery last week, a move that I consider to be one that has a lot of upside, especially in the pass rush department. He's a guy that's going to play inside but can play outside if needed. But then the Chiefs still needed a defensive end because you looked at the depth chart. It was George Karlaftis, Mike Dana, FAU. And that's a solid group, but it's mostly what you had last year. You need a little bit more pass rush juice. We know that Charles Omenihu, when healthy, can give you some of that pass rush juice. The last two seasons, the Kansas City Chiefs have been a different pass rush when Charles Omenihu is on the field and healthy. But you looked at the free agent options that were still available at defensive end. Charles Omenihu made the most sense. On a one-year deal that is worth up to $7 million, keyword up to. This is probably going to be a low base salary, maybe $4 or $5 million, with the rest of the contract being incentives. Like, guys, these are just great contracts, great savvy moves being given out by Brett Veach in the front office. Like, typically, I am very critical of Brett Veach in the front office, but I just really cannot find it, where to complain really about any of these moves. Like, the Chiefs keep making moves that I think are extremely smart. They're not too expensive. They haven't really been big spenders in free agency outside of tagging Trey Smith, which was expected. But all the moves they're making, like, I like them. I don't know what else to say. Like, Charles Omenihu on a one-year deal, that's probably going to be worth like $4 or $5 million, looking at the raw numbers. I mean, like, how can you complain about that? Because if he's able to give them a full healthy season, which it looks like he can, because as far as we know, there's no injury that he's coming off of. He's not getting suspended, at least right now. Don't want to jinx it, knock on wood, right? But if he can give you a full healthy season, this is someone that can have 5, 6, 7 sacks. I mean, he had 7 sacks for the Chiefs in 2023 before tearing his ACL, and that was in about half the games. So Charles Omenihu, again, is someone that when he's healthy is bringing that pass rush juice. But I think the best thing about this signing is that you can draft someone now still. And Charles Omenihu is maybe defensive end 3, defensive end number 4, depending on how high of a pick you spend on defensive line or defensive end. Because the Chiefs are almost assuredly going to draft someone. Like, again, they're going to draft someone on the defensive line, probably multiple defensive linemen, at least one DT, probably at least one DN. And if they do that, like, I really love the talent level on the defensive line. And you have a unit that was good last year. They're all right. Better in 2023, a little bit of a step back in 2024. Again, just from a pass rushing standpoint, this was a group that couldn't really get pressure on the front four or with the front four in the Super Bowl. And I think, that's what people are using as their judgment for the offseason. Like, how are you going to add to a defensive line that really couldn't get pressure with their front four against some of the better teams? Well, guys, bringing back the same group or like the core of the group that you had last year, that's a really good spot to be in pre-NFL draft. Understand that the Chiefs are not done yet. This is a very, very good start, though. Bringing back Charles Omenihu, who we know what he provides when healthy. The Chiefs are a different pass rush when he's healthy. I mean, his numbers weren't even great this past season, but again, they were just a better pass rush when he was healthy. I mean, he was putting pressure on the quarterback at a higher rate than George Karlaftis and Mike Dana. I mean, again, George Karlaftis, I give him credit. He turned up the heat later in the season, but you just need a little bit more. But this is a great spot to be pre-draft because understand that the Chiefs are not done. But this at least makes it to where you're not pigeonholed into taking defensive end with your first pick in the draft. You don't have to. You can sit back and you can take best player available at every single pick. Now, there is going to be a target position, at every single pick, and there's going to be needs to be addressed. But like the Chiefs, there's no position group you look at. Like what this Charles Omenihu signing did was plug up another hole to where you can look at this team, you can look at this roster and say, there's not really anywhere on this team where like we gotta grab someone like fast or else we're gonna miss out. You're not pigeonholed into taking a certain position. Like cornerbacks, you're fine. Safeties, you're fine. You drafted Jaden Hicks, even though you lost Justin Reed. Linebackers, everyone's back. Defensive line, almost everyone's back. And you added Jerry Tillery on the interior. Offensive line, you got your left tackle. Wide receiver, almost everyone is back. Like, guys, this roster is in a great spot right now. This is a position that the Kansas City Chiefs have not been in roster-wise pre-draft in a long time. And Charles Omenihu just further solidifies that, with him coming back into the fold. And I just think to myself, man, yes, the Chiefs had problems. And yes, they have issues that got exposed in the Super Bowl. Will not push back on anyone saying, hey, Josh, like, yes, bringing back Charles Omenihu is a good signing, but this front four couldn't get pressure in the Super Bowl. Totally agree. But guess what? You still have the NFL draft. You have 4 picks in the first 3 rounds. This team is going to continue adding. And I get it, guys. I really do. And I'm someone that usually is able to poke holes somewhere. But what Brett Veach is doing with this roster right now, I don't disagree with it at all. And I think they're going to continue to add young, explosive athletes at positions of need in this draft. They're going to get a running back. They're probably going to get another wide receiver. They're going to grab a couple D linemen. Then what really is there to complain about? That's why I really like this Charles Omenihu signing. So I'll say it one more time. Like, I understand that there are issues on this team that got exposed in the Super Bowl. But at the same time, you don't need to overreact this offseason. And the Chiefs haven't overreacted. Again, I think they've handed out a lot of smart, savvy contracts. They've made good moves. Let's remember that this team was still just 1 win away from three-peating. Like, they don't need to blow it up. And for the most part, they've retained just about everyone that mattered on last year's team. And I'm okay with that. And now you're going to continue to add in the NFL draft in a stacked class where the Chiefs need impact players the most. So great position to be in. Love having Charles Omenihu back in the fold. Wasn't necessarily my first choice, as far as a veteran pass rusher goes. But again, when you looked at the market, what all was still left available, and Charles Omenihu was still unsigned, signing him back on a cheap 1-year deal made the most sense. No issues with it. But that's all I got for this video, guys. Definitely want to hear from you in the comments. What are your thoughts on the Kansas City Chiefs bringing back Charles Omenihu on a 1-year deal? Really, I have no issues, but definitely curious what you guys think. So leave your thoughts down below. All that being said, make sure you like, share, and subscribe so more Chiefs fans can find this. Check out my work on showmefootball.com, arrowheadaddict.com for more. Last but not least, follow me on Twitter at showmefb. That's all I got for you guys in this one. I'll see you all in the next one. And as always, go Chiefs.